I'm a big freight train and I ain't pumping no brakes. Niggas walking by the tracks like, something stank. Fool, what you think? Got a couple loose screws. A trigger happy nigga with a couple new tools. I figure half these niggas trying to stay on point, but these rookie ass niggas trying to gain some points.
What's good? This is your boy Internal Sadist. This video is going to be about how to handle breakups as a man. And the sad part about that, we live in a society where men overplay their hand and they don't quite understand society. What's up, Shinobi Wan? What's up? We live in a society where men always overplay their hand and they don't seem to understand how to get the upper hand when they break up in relationships, and they typically end up breaking up the wrong way, or being seen as pathetic or weak, or shit like that for all intents and purposes. Because let's just face it, at the end of the day, if a woman is breaking up with you, 9 times out of 10 or 10 out of 10 times, she wants to see you at your miserable and your lowest. And how you go about it is pretty much the way that'll determine her decision as she walks out the door, or before she walks out the door, for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, it always ends up being one of those things where you have to be able to handle it a certain way, or present it, or go about it the right way, so you don't have to worry about coming off as too clingy or too needy, or coming off as being a scorned ex, basically, or being that ex that that is hurt by her breaking up with you, or the needy portion, which is actually which is end up being, or being basically a scorned ex that she broke up with. So it's like most times most men fall into those two categories. And the sad part about it, it makes for a very, very bad what's the word I'm looking for? It makes for a very bad, very, very bad transition period, or a this sounds good. What's up, America's the Bill? It makes for a very bad breakup, and you're seen in a negative light by that girl if you break up wrong with her, basically. So it's one of those things where you have to find a common ground to do so. You have to find the perfect balance of things. And typically, this is what I always talk about when it comes to emotionless, or being stoic, or being nonchalant. It's typically one of those things that you should do. Because the funny thing about that is, believe it or not, despite the fact that women are attracted to nonchalance or stoicism, or somebody that's emotionless, when you're nonchalant, stoic, or emotionless, that actually scares women too, especially when it comes to them. So it's one thing if you're doing it to somebody else. It's another thing if you're doing it to them. Thanks, Americas. And that's typically what a lot of men seem to miss out on, or don't really understand when it comes to women and breaking up with women and stuff like that, is women are attracted to that stoicism or that nonchalance that you carry, but women are bothered by it or scared of it when that stoicism and or nonchalance is directed towards them. Like, I remember the one time I was sitting at a bar with a woman that I was talking to a while ago, and she said something to me, and I said in a nonchalant way, that's not. I said, what I say? How did I say it? I said, no problem. Basically, and I went to drinking my wine, and I was drinking wine at the time. We were at this very, very nice bar, and we're sitting there drinking, and we're trying to come up with like plans for her party and stuff like that. And I go, no problem. And I went back to sipping my wine, and she goes to me, your answer sometimes, you're okay. When you say okay to me, or no problem with me, that kind of scares me sometimes. I go, why? She goes, it's because it's me. Like, well, what do you want me to say? Okay. And we went on. And the sad part about that is I've noticed this anytime I say something pertaining to her that she has some feelings towards or has some emotions towards, she gets very worried, and she gets very worried when I say it to her, but it's perfectly fine when I say it to other people. And that's typically how it's always been, or how I've always carried myself. It's like, I'm a very nonchalant person, so it's like, yeah, whatever. Or, okay. Or, it should work. It's one of those things where like I give like this bland answer, or this blah answer, and women typically respond kind of oddly when I do it. Another example is another woman that's my friend who I talked to. We were in a car together, and like she was dropping me off back at my car, and she goes to me. She says something. She goes, "All right, I got to kick you out so I can get home." I go, "Okay," and I take off my seatbelt and I get out the car. She goes, "You are just so damn cool about that shit. It's like you don't even give a fuck. Like you don't even care. Like it's like I can say the most off the wall shit to you. You just be like, okay, you just get out the car like ain't shit, basically." And that's typically it's pretty much what it is. It's like one of those things where like they want more out of you. They want more emotion out of you. They want what's up, Billy to go. They want you to react worse, or they want you to react one of two ways. They want you to overreact, or they want you to act scorned or hurt, or they want you to act over emotional, basically. So it's one of those things where like you as a man have to learn how to not get too overly emotional, or not to be too angrily or scorned by a woman breaking up with you. And so it's one of those things where it's a fine balance between how to do it and how to get out of it, and how to do it and get out of it properly, and how to do it and get out of it wrongly. So it's one of those things where you never want to put yourself in a situation where you look like the scorned ex-lover, or you look like you're upset, or you look like you're destroyed or distraught by her leaving you. So it's one of those things where you always want to remain very neutral. Anytime, and the best way to do this, and I always tell men this, the best way to do this is two ways, one of two ways. But this is the easier of the two. Because men will look at me like, what do you mean do it the other way? Typically, what you want to do is, you ever hear the saying, there's a right place and a right time for everything? Okay, cool. If the conversation with her is very like playful and fun, be playful and fun. If the conversation, anytime the conversation with her gets serious, I'm gonna need men to be more serious than a judge for all intents and purposes when it comes down to it. Because this is typically how you're gonna be able to play this off and do it properly and look nonchalant, or look like it doesn't bother you, or be able to just brush it off with a meh type thing. So whenever the conversation sounds like it's going to be serious, where she says, "We need to talk," all that playfulness, everything in all that playful tone need to leave your voice, basically. That's when you start getting serious with a woman. And this is basically how you're going to pretty much approach it. And if she asks you, "Why so serious?" You said, be like, "Well, you said we need to talk, so you got to be serious for a serious talk, don't you?" Duh. It's like, or say something nonchalant like that, or say something very snide like that, basically. So when anytime she tells you, "We need to talk," basically you're preparing her for the face that you're going to give her from here on out in all your conversations that you're going to be in. So she tells you, "We need to talk." Put your play voice and play all your play things. Put all that to the side. So all the jokes, all the stuff that you want to say, all the simple shit all the wisecracks and everything, throw that off to the side and get serious. Basically, treat it like you know it's a serious thing. Basically, like treat it like somebody just told you that you know they're gonna stab you in the stomach and take your. Well, no, no, don't get that angry, but treat it like somebody that said they're going to beat you up, but they can't beat you, basically. So you're like laughing about it, but you're going to be serious about it. Like, you're still going to be serious in a serious way. So typically you're going to get serious about it. Whenever she says, "We need to talk," let all that playfulness out of you. Let all that other shit out of you. Don't, no jokes, no nothing. Be serious. This way you automatically figure out, this way you automatically got the face that you need for this conversation. You got your serious poker face on. So typically how it works is, when she starts talking, you start being talking, you're responding in a serious manner, and you actually listen to what she says, then you respond, then you listen to what she says, then you respond, basically. Or you could do this sort of thing where you just sit there quietly and just let her talk her fucking brains out, basically, which typically is what we're going to do anyway, what a lot of men do anyway. But you're going to have a serious as a judge look on your face while she's doing this. And your response is going to be, "Okay," or "That's fine," or something along the lines of that, for all intents and purposes, where you have this meh, or this nonchalance about you, or this stoicism about you, and there's no emotion in your face. And basically, you want to approach it, when you do it, with a flat affect. That's important. Keep your flat affect. Work on your flat affect voice. No matter how much you got to do it, take take everything out of your fucking Take all the stuff out of your voice basically when you do it. Knock all that stuff, the voice, the emotion, the everything. Get rid of all that stuff when you do this. You just want to be emotionless and you want to have a flat affect when you're responding to her. So basically, you're going to be very. It's not really somber, but you're going to be very flat affecty about it. So you're going to be responding not with no excitement and not with any anger. So you're going to be smack dab in the middle when you do this. What's up, Shinobi One? What's up, Hidden? What's up, no, sweetheart. What's up, Hidden? I already said hi, Shinobi, and what's up, Billy the Goat? If I didn't say it, but typically how this works is that with that flat affect, that's going to be your baseline for how you respond to her. You're going to respond with no emotion, or you're going to respond, like you're going to either respond with no emotion. If you can't pull off the flat affect, what you're going to want to go to is the sarcastic smile. Like that's not even bothering me right now. I'm above this right now. Basically, you're going to go to that cool, calm, casual smile. You're like, okay, and you just basically, or the cut or the nonchalance where you go, okay, and if she wants to break up, she wants to break up, and like basically, the problem with a lot of breakups is, like I said, women want to see you at your lowest, or want to see you like literally, they either want to see you groveling, or they want to see you destroyed, or they want to see you angry with them because now they have a story to tell their next person on how it actually went down in their mind or how it went down based on the breakup for all intents and purposes. So it's one of those things where like no matter how they tell the story, your emotionless self or your nonchalant self basically is always going to ring in their mind when they go back and think about the breakup. The sad part about that, they're going to think about that breakup for the fact that you had no emotions going into it, and they were expecting you to be destroyed and down on the ground and counting. Basically, they were expecting you to be count. They were expecting you to count out basically and tap out for all intents and purposes due to what they did. So it's one of those things. As a man, you have to be able to maintain your emotion, and you basically have to be able to like maintain either a flat affect or maintain nonchalance or a serious face for all intents and purposes. So you want one of those three things for when you get serious. You want to either have no you want either want to have a flat affect. You want to be serious as a judge with no emotions, like you're basically about to make a judgment on a case that has nothing to do with you. So basically, you got to be able to take yourself to be serious as a judge. You basically have to be able to take yourself outside yourself and judge this objectively for all intents and purposes. So typically, that's how it's supposed to work, but in a legal system, it never really works like that. But typically, that's how you want to be. You basically want to be able to step outside yourself and judge it properly, like it doesn't bother you, or this is not you. This is happening to. So typically, you want to be as serious as a judge, but you want it to be a surreal moment where you step outside yourself, look at both of you, and go, okay, I accept, or the uh, judgment ruled. I mean, uh, the judge has spoken basically, or like they bang the gavel basically. Pretend like you're banging a gavel after every single decision, like court adjourned basically. Court adjourned. Basically, that's the affect that you want to have in your voice. Court adjourned or court over basically. Everybody have a good one. That's what I said. That's the words that I'm saying. This is the law that we're living by now. End the fucking story. So basically, you want to have that affect or that you want to have that gravitas or that almost like a full authority when you actually do it. So typically, when you do the judge serious as a judge thing, you basically want to have that authority still, like it doesn't bother you, and you want to be very serious and you want to maintain that whole entire thing the whole entire time. Even if you want to break down and cry, you want to maintain that even when she walks, even all the way till she walks out the door and walks out your life. You want to maintain that whole entire frame or that whole entire thing all until she walks outside the door. And the sad part about that is when the serious conversation's over, go do something that you love, like play PlayStation or Xbox or talk to your friends or something like that, or hang out at the bar, basically, and just have fun. Like never let her see you in your weak moments. If you're going to break down and cry, do something that you like, or go out hang out with your friends and talk about it. Make sure your friends don't really associate with her or talk to her because people like talking and will run their mouths to her basically, and she'll find out about it. So typically, just hang out with your friends and act like nothing's happening. basically, if you're going to hang out with those type of friends. Pretend like nothing's happening and just have the time of your life and have fun. And it's one of those things where, like, that'll pretty much, alleviate a lot of the emotion and stress off of you if you do that the second way. You basically approach her like a judge, like you're serious as a judge, which is the second way to actually get away with it. The second way, the first way to actually do it. And you basically, after it's said and done and she's out of your life and she's out of your house, you actually either start crying in a corner somewhere, or you go hang out with friends or play PlayStation to basically make you forget about the fact that she broke up with you. It's that simple. And the third way, like I said, is just pure nonchalance. So you got the first way. The first one is, you want to have a flat affect the whole entire time. The second one is you just want to be as serious as a judge, and you want to be able to step outside yourself and push forth the situation as if you're a biased, you're an unbiased party basically in this whole entire thing. So you want to be serious as a judge, you want to be unbiased towards this thing, so you don't want no emotions to get involved in this. So typically that's how you handle that with that one. And the final way is basically you want to be nonchalant about it and say, huh, man, or okay, I, okay, cool. It's typically how it works. That's basically the first way. That's the first way of the ways to actually be able to overcome a breakup. Breakup for all intents and purposes. The second way is a bit extremer, a bit more extreme, and a lot of men are probably going to raise their eyebrows when I say this, and some won't. But some will be like, "Okay, I understand where you're going with this, Tico. I got you." But typically, the second way to do it is to treat your relationship like it's a job that you're going into. You can't figure out why the fuck you still got a job at the place. You done fucked up so many times. Your black ass or your white ass should be fired, or your Chinese ass or Puerto Rican ass or Latino ass or Asian ass should be fired from this job, but you don't know how the fuck you still got a job at this place. So basically treat it like a job that you know you should be fired from. And one of these days, the hammers are going to come down on your ass and they're going to let your ass go. That's the second way to do it. And that's typically how I always tell other men, basically, treat it like a job that you know you're fucking up on, and eventually the hammer's going to come down on you, and you're going to be fired. So it's one of those things where it's like going every day like you're waiting to be fired, basically. Don't be mad about it. Don't be mad about it. Like you basically already know you fucked up, and you're just waiting for the day when they bring you in the office and say, we got to let you go. Don't be one of them people who shoot up the place or threaten to shoot up the place. Just be one of those people that are very nonchalant about it. Go, okay, I was expecting this to happen. Be very cool about it and be like, yeah, I was expecting this to happen. Because I remember I was working at one job when I said, there's been days at this job when I can't believe I still got a job. And I actually came in every day expecting to be fired from my job. And that's technically how I got through a lot of those jobs where, like, I literally was expecting to be fired from a job. All because, high emotions of supervisors. So I was expecting to actually be fired from jobs for this reason. And the cold hard truth is, when it came down to it, it was one of those things where, you know, every day I came into work, I was just shocked that I still had a job, basically. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow, maybe. And it's one of those days where I come back every day expecting to be fired from my job because I know that I wasn't a perfect person, but I know that nobody else in my predecessors could actually handle the workload that I can actually handle. But at the same time, they wanted far beyond what I was actually capable of at that job, or I probably was capable of it, and I just didn't do it. And it's one of those things they wanted far beyond, despite the fact that they knew the numbers I was doing was far beyond any other person, far beyond anybody has ever done before me, and anybody in my department will do altogether. So it's one of those things where it's like I knew I was a valuable asset, but I knew that all because of emotions and how people feel that I could be fired and let go from my job at any given time. It's typically how it worked. Only reason why I believe they kept me around is because I was dumb enough. I was the only one dumb enough to do my job and still like my job, which is actually one of those things where it's like one of the. So basically, what I'm saying. yeah. What he said, my heart wasn't in the right place. Yeah, yeah. I trust me. I've noticed that too, and with a lot of employers too. They'll tell you all this ridiculous stuff. Matter of fact, I had a one employer that actually one employee like director who literally started crying in tears because I made an honest mistake, and she literally was in tears while she's telling me this shit. I'm like, it's okay. I made a mistake. I understand. She goes, please don't make another mistake. I'll have to let you go, and I really don't want to have to let you go. I'm like, it's okay. I'm sitting there literally hugging my supervisor because she's crying that she's going to have to fire my black ass. Like think about this shit. Like, I'm gonna need you to like cut it out, lady. I'm okay. I made a mistake. It was on a mistake. I can accept that mistake. I'll try to do better, basically. And it's one of those things where it's like you'll run into people like that where they get overly emotional about having to do something or having to talk to you because they became so attached to you or so emotionally attached to you for some odd reason that's beyond your mind or beyond your belief why they are. It's one of those things where they feel so depressed about it. And it's like they're literally crying and you got to console them and shit like that in their own office. Like I've literally ran into that multiple times with a supervisor at work. Like I've had supervisors go, please don't make me have to fire you. I would really miss you. And you're very, very good at your job. Please don't make me have to fire you. Like, like, okay, calm down. I made a mistake. I'll try not to make it again. And typically, I'm one of them people that won't make a mistake multiple times. So I'm pretty good. The same mistake multiple times. So it's like it'll always be a different mistake I'll make after, correcting that one mistake. But typically, I'm pretty good at not making mistakes at work when it comes to it. But typically, this is how you got to pretty much carry out your relationship with a woman. Treat it like it's a job that you're going to every day, expecting to be fired from. That's basically how I look at any relationship that I've ever been in. I expect to be fired any moment now. I expect not to make it to lunch. Or then I make it to lunch, go, oh, I still got a job. I still got a job at lunch. Holy shit. Okay, maybe I'll be fired at the end of the day. Oh, I still got a job at the end of the day? Okay, maybe it's going to be tomorrow. And that's pretty much how I treat it. Every day I wake up, I treat it like I'm going to be fired that day. And this is typically why I can actually do the shit that I do and not really care and not have the carte blanche to actually feel anything when it actually happens. And it's one of those things where it's like I'm already expecting it, and I've already got my outro ready to go basically. And it's one of those things where it's like if it's my house, which is never, very rarely or ever that they're staying at my house, I'll literally ask them, "Do you need me to help you pack?" And the sad part about that, I'll literally help them pack. Like I'll literally help them pack. Like I'll be in another room packing their stuff and putting all the stuff in a bag and shit like that, and be happy while I'm doing it. Like, and it's like the sad part about that. It's actually very relieving when you help a woman pack, especially after she broke up with you. It's actually very relieving and it's actually very fun to actually literally help a woman pack because like you're literally speeding up the process to put her ass out. Think about it like this: like you're helping her pack, so you're speeding up the process so she can't pull, remember this, or remember when we got this at the thing, or when we got this at the fair, or remember this day when we got this thing. Yeah, no, you're helping her pack basically so you can speed up the process. So pack all her stuff that she remembers so she can't be trying to put it in your face. Just pack all the stuff in a suitcase or pack all the stuff in a box very quickly so you don't have to worry about it. Very quickly and very neatly so you don't have to worry about it. And you basically, tape it up real quick so that bitch can't pull out of the box. How about, look at this, remember this? No, put it in the box. It's one of those things. So it's one of those things where like, that's also another thing that you can do when you break up with a woman is help her pack so you can get her out of your house faster. Don't be evil packing her. Don't be mean or crying while you're packing her. Just be very emotionless when you're packing her, helping her pack. And that's simply one of the things that I always say with men when it comes to actually, breaking up with a woman and she lives with you. Help her pack so she can get out faster. It's that simple. Because the sad part about helping a woman pack, it makes you feel so good that you're able to actually put her out your house. And she's moving on to the next guy. You're up, and now she's sitting there. Yeah, like I said, my Samsonite game is on point. Like it's very funny because like people will say, "Well, Tika, I don't understand. Like, why are you helping her pack so she can get out my house faster or get out my face faster so I can move on with so I can go on about my merry way?" Because the sad part about that is you also got to take consideration too. She's breaking up with you, so she's not going to have very much emotion to this unless you show no emotion to this shit. Basically, the minute you not show emotion to a woman, she's going to try her best to fuck with you emotionally to get you sad about her leaving you. And the sad part about that is the best way to do it, if she's going to be doing all this, is merely help her pack so she can get out your face faster. And don't be mean about it. Pack the stuff nice and neat. That's pretty much how you treat it. You basically just pack it neatly. Don't just be throwing shit in the thing. Pack it neatly, put it in there. Like put it in with care, like it would be like if it was your children or your stuff, basically. Put it in with care and basically pack it. And the more you help her pack, the more you feel good about it for some odd reason. Now, there are some men that can't go that far mentally and emotionally to do it. But the sad part about that, remember it like this. She's breaking up with you. and she's already swung off to another guy. This is why she's leaving you in your apartment for another guy. So the fact that she lived with you and she's swinging to another guy, she's swinging out your apartment, lets you know that she has another place to go and she's going to be living with that person. Therefore, she's already made the decision. So your ass should be able to help her faster pack. And the sad part about that, the more you start enjoying her pack, helping her pack, the more she starts getting worried about you figuring out what you're trying to do. Because the sad part about that is like, well, I understand why you're helping me pack and you're so happy about you helping me pack. Well, nah, you're moving on. So why am I going to be upset? I'm happy for you. You know, say some stuff like that. I'm happy for you. You're moving on. Why would I be upset by this? You know, so it's one of those things where it's like, you basically make peace with her leaving you, and you know she's moving on to some other dick, basically, to rat some other dick. So it's one of those things where it's like, you basically give her the farewell shove off, basically, in a nice way. You basically help her pack her stuff nice and neat, like you would be packing your stuff if you're going on a trip, basically. Treat her like she's going on a trip. If you can't handle it emotionally, treat her like she's going on a trip to somewhere and she'll be back. Only she's not coming back, but put it in the back of your mind that she's coming back. And just help her pack her stuff nice and neat, all her stuff nice and neat, and put it in the suitcases or boxes and wish her well. And then close the door behind her. And don't even wait for a rat to come. Close the door behind her and go to what you need to do, basically. It's typically how it works. Oh yeah, and also get your key back from that woman too, so she can't come back in just in case you start breaking down after she's gone. So it's one of those things where it's like, cool. So yeah, it's one of those things. So typically that's what you want to do, and that's basically how you want to be able to handle stuff like that. Typically, so you basically want to do one of the first two things. You want to either you want to get serious about the conversation when she says we need to talk. So you want to be serious about it. You want to take one of three approaches to this shit. You want to be either you want to have a flat affect when you're talking the whole entire time, or you want to be as serious as a judge. Or the third option, you want to be very nonchalant about it. It depends on what you're capable of doing based on the range of emotions you're going to be feeling during that whole entire thing. Basically, you want to keep your cool and you want to maintain the same bravado or the same facial expressions the whole entire time. So either have a flat affect, be serious as a judge, or be nonchalant. So basically, you're going to go into this being serious because she says we need to talk. So obviously, this is a serious conversation. So we need to talk turns into, okay, let's get serious. Then she might say something, because oddly, women will say this shit when they say we need to talk. When you get serious with them and you stop laughing and joking, they'll look at you peculiarly and says, "Why so serious?" Or, "Wow, you're serious as a judge right now." Typically you're basically catching them off guard emotionally, because basically when they break up with you, they want you at your lowest point, or they want you at your worst point or your lowest point. Your worst point being you being angry and mean to them, and your lowest point being you emotionally destroyed. It's typically how it works. So the fact that you're approaching it this way kind of sort of throws them off, because now they don't have the upper hand and are not destroying you, and they can't destroy you in this whole entire thing. It's typically how it works. So then you get that out the way, and that's one way you can actually treat it. The second way you can treat it is like a job that you're going to every day that you know your black ass should be fired from, or your ass. And when I say black, I mean, I'm just talking from my experience from jobs that I had that I know my black ass should have been fired from, but somehow, some way they kept me around for some odd reason. So typically I treat all relationships like a job that I should be and could be fired from, but have no clue why the hell I'm still here on the job and still have a job, basically. So always treat a relationship like every day you wake up, you're going to be fired from your job, basically. That's typically how you should treat a relationship, and that's typically how you can actually handle it. So, you ain't got to worry about any of this stuff. Or, yeah, true, leaving her boxes outside is an extra good feeling too. But the sad part about that is she might see that kind of odd, and she might see that as you being scorned. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great feeling and all, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, like, she can actually rewrite that in her mind as you're being scorned, which is a bad thing once you think about it. So, just help and, like, basically Treat it like you were in respect. Treat a relationship like you're expecting to be let go or fired every day that you wake up for all intents and purposes. So it's one of those things that you're ready for and you're ready to let go. So if you look at a relationship like a job that you should be fired from, and you don't know how you're still here on the job after you done fucked up so many times, basically. Even if you didn't fuck up so many times, treat it like you fucked up so many times. Excuse me. And basically, that'll be your mindset for when she actually breaks up with you. Like, oh yeah, I was expecting this. I did mess up multiple times, and I understand that. And you have a good one. Or like, and they ask you, are you upset? No, I'm not upset. Like, you have a good one. I fucked up a lot of times. I understand that. So you have a good one. You know, well, basically have a serious conversation with them and talk about where you messed up at basically. And it's one of those things where it's like, even if you didn't mess up, make up some shit. Just make up some shit. Just randomly make up some shit and try to be a straight man while you're doing it. But what I mean by straight man is like, in a comedy act where there's a straight man that don't laugh and there's a man that's cracking all the jokes, you got the straight man. Basically, you got to be the straight man in this whole entire that comedy act because what she's doing is comedy, and you got to be the straight man about it basically. So typically, how this works is you're basically going to be very serious about it. Even if you've done nothing wrong, make shit up and make it sound believable and credible basically while you're doing it. Yeah, I did mess up. I did not call you all the time, and I did neglect you every now and again, and this and the other. So I understand why you're leaving me and this and the other. Even if you didn't neglect her, even if you did call her every day, even if you did catch all her text messages, just run with it. Just run with it and make it sound believable and make it sound like you messed up basically badly, and she's moving on basically, and it's like you're very cool about her moving on. Like, yeah, I did mess up basically. Like basically treat it like a job, and you fucked up, and she'd be fired any damn way. That's basically how you should treat a relationship. Every day you wake up, you treat it like you're going to be be fired or let go for all intents and purposes. It's a hashtag hope hacker. But yeah, that's basically how you treat anything like that when it comes to women. Because the sad part about that is, like I said, women want to see you at your lowest point. Women want to see you at your lowest point or your worst point. Your worst point being you being angry and irate and trying to figure out why she's breaking up with her. Mad at her for breaking up with you and being like this angry, jealous boyfriend basically because she's leaving you for another man, or she wants to see you destroyed and distraught and emotionally like damaged basically. So you also got to take that into consideration when you go into these things too. That at any given time she wants to destroy you emotionally and mentally, physically, and all the above, and financially she can. So it's one of those things you got to literally help her pack. I can find her shit like retail, right? And it's one of those things where you always want to be able to carry that very thing about you to basically carry forth in the whole entire thing. And like I said, the second step to that whole entire thing, after you don't either treating it like a job that you should be fired from, or the first one where I said, when she says we need to talk, you get serious, and you either get serious as a judge. You're very nonchalant. If you're me, you're pretty much nonchalant the whole entire time anyway. So whenever they want to talk, you're pretty much always nonchalant anyway. Or you basically treat it like you're serious as a judge, or you treat it like you basically have a flat affect while it's all going on. You have no emotions behind the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's typically how you do it. Or you basically treat it like a job that you're supposed to be fired from, and you still don't know how you got a job at the place. So typically that's how you treat it. Then you get to the second part. For some people, this will work for them, and some people, they might feel even worse, but you just basically help her pack. That way she can't pull out the whole entire thing and try to pull at your heartstrings or your emotions while she's packing and getting out of your house, because typically women will do that shit as they're leaving. They'll take shots at you emotionally or take shots at you mentally while you're leaving. The sad part about that is helping her pack does one of two things. One, it speeds up her pack so she can get the hell out your face. And two, it basically limits the whole entire thing of her being able to pull at your heartstrings or your emotions about various things you did during your dating life for all intents and purposes, because she's really trying to destroy you at that point in time by doing this on purpose. And the sad part about that, if you ever notice, women are slow and deliberate on how they pack when they're packing their stuff to leave your house. So the sad part about that is you got to speed it up as fast as humanly possible. Yeah, you got to and recycle her kinky underwear too. Yeah, you got to give it to her too. And the sad part about that is that's basically how you got to deal with it. You can't be upset about it. You can't really be mad about it. And what's up, Steve Price? I think was it Steve? No, I said yeah, Steve Price. What's up? Welcome to the chat, pimpin'. You basically got to be able to handle this, just like when Americus wrote the first way. The first way is basically either you're going to get serious in a conversation, you're going to get serious, you're going to have a flat affect, or you're going to be nonchalant. The second way is basically treat it like a job that you got fired from, or you're going to be fired from, basically, or you should be fired from. You have no clue how the hell you still got a job at the place, and you're asked to be fired because you fucked up multiple times. Typically, treat a relationship like that. That's the second way to treat a relationship. And the second half of that is basically helping a woman pack because you're trying to speed up. You're trying to speed up the face. You're trying to speed up your FaceTime with her so you can limit the FaceTime that she has with you for two reasons. One, so she can get out your face and you can handle yourself if you need to break down emotionally, and two, so she can't pull out your heartstrings anymore than what she's already trying to do by either trying to make you angry or trying to emotionally destroy you. So it's one of those things you got to be able to do and basically get her out of your house. Also, get your key back so she doesn't have a reason to walk back in on you, destroy basically, so she doesn't feel the joy of destroying a man that she's leaving basically. So basically, get your key back and stuff like that too. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it is what it is. So that's basically what you want to do in those types of relationships, and that's basically what you want to do in those types of feelings and settings. Basically, what's up, MGTOWN to win? So basically, you want to basically speed up the process. Which why so serious? I'm Batman. That's funny. I like that. I like that, Billy the Goat. But basically, you want to speed up the process and make it so that you can limit her FaceTime with you and limit the emotional destructiveness that she's probably going to enforce on you that whole entire time of her packing, because she's going to break out some shit and say, remember this, or say this, because she doesn't want you being happy or being okay with her leaving her leaving you. She wants you destroyed. She literally wants you destroyed. So the sad part about that, by helping her pack, and do it neatly, don't be an ass about it. Help her pack neatly, and so she can speed up the process for this reason, so she can get out of your face faster, so you can have the least amount of face time with her as humanly possible, so she can't pull out your heartstrings and pull out any emotions that she could possibly draw from you, because you're probably going to break down when this is actually happening if you're not like me or a few other people. So it's one of those things where you want to speed it up so you can actually cry while she's gone. If you're not that strong, you basically want to hold on until she's gone, basically. It's typically how it works. So you don't want to look sad or you don't want to look worried while she's leaving you, basically. What's up, Doc? We say, what's up, Doc? But yeah, that was typically the live stream and shit like that. And anybody got any questions in the comment sections to ask me about this before I call it quits, or questions or concerns about this, or any understanding or misunderstandings on what I said about how to break up with her, basically, and what to do? Any misunderstandings? Go. Put it in the comment section. Don't worry, I'll wait. Time to win. Let that sink in. Simpleton. This guy. Anybody got any questions or comments or concerns, or anybody confused about how to handle a breakup with a woman? Everybody straightforward? Everybody got it? Everybody good? Let me know. Let me know. Keep going. Okay, Psyche Soap 2.0. Keep going. But yeah, that's typically how you would handle that. And the funny thing about that is it's It is what it is. It's like it's a breakup. You're expected to happen. It's life. It's basically like a problem being thrown at you, another random problem being thrown at you for all intents and purposes. Because the sad part about, like I said on the recap, is women like to see you either at your worst or at your they would like to see you at your worst, or they would like to see you destroyed for all intents and purposes. And what I mean by, like I said in the beginning, what I mean by they want to see you at your worst is they want to see you angry and irate and mad at them that you're leaving them, or they want to see you destroyed, completely destroyed and utterly decimated. The fact that they want to leave you for all intents and purposes. And like I said, the recap on the ways to actually breaking up, there's two main ways to break up with a woman, handle a breakup with a woman. When she says we need to talk, get serious. Get serious, like it's a serious conversation, because we need to talk usually means something serious. So don't joke. Put aside all the jokey shit. Let that shit go. Be serious. Now you're going to choose from one of three options depending on your very own personality. You want to have a flat affect, you want to be nonchalant, or you want to be as serious as a judge. Remember, flat affect, nonchalant, or as serious as a judge. That's the first options you take. Basically, after she says, let's talk, we need to talk, you get serious. Those are your three options. The second way to treat it, if you're strong enough to do it, is like a job that you should be fired from because you know you fucked up multiple times from. And you know you should be fired. And you know you have no clue how you still have a job at the place. And everybody's looking at you like, how do you still have a fucking job here? Basically, that one meme where everybody's looking at you, ever look at a person and wonder how they still got a job at the place? Basically, it's basically treated like a meme, basically. Like, you should be fired. You don't know how you're not fired. And treated just as such for all intents and purposes. So it's one of those things when she talked to you, you basically are really, really cool because you've already been waiting to be let go, no matter what. So it doesn't bother you when you get let go. It's one of those things where it's like you're okay with it, you're perfectly fine with it. It doesn't bother you. You could care less, and it's happening. That's typically how that works, and that's typically how that's pretty much how it works. So it's one of those things where like you basically want to yeah, dark glass of wine, a glass of dark wine, or Johnny Walker Blue label, King George variant. Because 9 times out of 10, after you break up with her, you'll be able to afford all that shit any damn way. You'll be able to afford the finer things in life, all for all intents and purposes. So you basically treat yourself like milk and do nothing but spoil you after she leaves your house. And that's what I talk about treating yourself like milk, do nothing but spoil yourself. So that's when you break out the very, very good, scotch, or the very, very good wine, or the very, very good tequila, or the very, very good of anything. You break out the best of the best of the best of what you got in your closet, basically. You finally get to crack it open and sip on it and let it swirl around in your head like a fine glass of wine or a cognac glass. What's up, Valhalla? Welcome. Happy to see you here. So typically, that's how you should handle breakups. And that's exactly how you should go about it. And y'all be good? Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about it, Valhalla. I'm doing good. How are you doing, Pimpin'? How are you doing? You basically just treat it like, it's a job that you know you should be fired from, and you're waiting for the day when they bring down a hammer on you and let you go for all intents and purposes. It is what it is. And you just celebrate like it's like you're Prince and it's 1999, basically. Dun, 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 dun. Let me stop. No. If you like Prince, that is. Just party like it's 1999, basically. Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999. Dun, 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 dun. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, typically that's how you pretty much keep it. And that's how you pretty much go. That's how you pretty much treat it. It's because you never want to be caught up emotionally with the woman because that's what she wants you. She wants you caught up emotionally with her. Like I said, she wants to see you destroyed or she wants to see you at your worst. That way she has a story to tell her next person or all her friends after breaking up with you as they're laughing at you. That way, if you're doing all this stuff right, she won't have a story to break up with you, and it'll be bothering her in the back of her mind, and she'll continuously think about this shit. And the sad part about that, when you do this, these women will try to stay in contact with you on a regular fucking basis for the fact that You're wondering how the fuck you're not taking it badly. When in fact you should be taking it badly in her mind. She needs a story to tell her friends. She needs the story to tell her next boyfriend that you were angry, upset, and almost tried to abuse her after she broke up with you, after she left you because you're this person. Or she needs a story to tell her boy or sister or girlfriends that you were destroyed and on the floor so they can laugh at you and they can feel good about you being destroyed on the floor. Because typically this is what women like. They love this, they enjoy this, they enjoy this shit. So always try to avoid it for this reason. Y'all be blessed. Have a good day. I always enjoy serving the manosphere and the community and the philosophy. Y'all be blessed. Go forth. Get more knowledge. As I said in the video, treat yourselves like milk. Do nothing but spoil yourselves. And always try to better yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically so you never have to worry about none of this shit. Whatever decision you make, let it be dating or not, I want you to make the best decision for yourself at the end of the day. If you're a man, I don't care if you're date, I don't care if you aren't dating, I don't care if you, whatever you're doing, I'm a libertarian when it comes to it. I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you date dolls, I don't care if you marry a bridge trust, I don't care if you like being in relationships, I don't care about none of that stuff. All I want is the best for men when it comes to their well-being, health, and safety, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So at the end of the day, I don't care what you choose to do. I want you to be prepared for the worst of all situations. So this is typically what I like to teach men. It don't matter what you got going on in your life. It don't matter what your orientation is. It don't matter what type of relationship you're in. Just be ready for the worst of the worst for all relationships that you could possibly get in. Just be ready for the worst of the worst and prepare yourself for the worst just in case shit happens. That way you're not destroyed emotionally, mentally, and or physically. That's all I want from men. Not to be destroyed emotionally, mentally, and physically. Y'all be blessed. I want the best for men. And the famous words of even though I said it, the best for men. That's all I want. No matter what decisions you make, relationship or not, if you're gay or straight, relationship or not, I just want the best choice for men. I want the best optimal outcome for men, for men's overall emotional integrity and well-being. That's all I want. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. Love yous, guys. Take care of yourselves. Treat yourselves like nothing but spoil yourselves, and always be willing to improve upon yourselves and make yourself the better versions of yourself. Doing for yourself and being selfish sometimes isn't a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when a woman can't be involved in that selfishness of yourself. That's the only time it's a bad thing. And usually it's a woman berating you or talking to you about it being a bad thing when it's really not. You're spoiling yourself. You deserve it. You worked for it. So take it on. Be the king in your neighborhood or be the king in your life for all intents and purposes. Love you guys. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. And everybody take everybody six and watch everybody six, basically. Be blessed and have a good one. Peace. My favorite outro. On the way out. I love that. That never gets old. And the other one that I was about to play.
This channel is for mature audiences only. If you're underage on this channel, your parents' mom should have swallowed them or spit them out.